Mr. Soleil, we often hear private interests cite the job benefits of the oil and gas industry, but from your testimony and from that of many communities, we know that extractive industries often force communities to make the choice between their work and their health, and long-term economic stability as well. One of my highest priorities is to work with communities like yours to make sure that it is not a choice that people have to make anymore. How, in your view, would offshore wind provide opportunities for a more diversified economy in the Gulf?
For one, we would create jobs cleaning up the 8,000 miles of pipeline that lie off the coast of Louisiana. Oil and gas workforce is also prepared to take on offshore jobs in manufacturing. We already have the knowledge and experience here in the Gulf to do the jobs that it takes to bring in renewables. We have pipeline hands to build windmills. We have pipeline hands to remove the pipelines that are there. Who else knows our waters like our boat captains and our deckhands? And one of the best ways to take full advantage of offshore development would be full or partial community ownership. This is already a model that's already been established overseas with CBAs.
Thank you. And I also understand why many Gulf communities may hesitate when a new industry comes in to develop. What can offshore wind learn from some of the mistakes of the fossil fuel industry, and why is it important for Gulf communities that offshore wind is not linked to oil production?
Offshore wind should not just learn from the mistakes of the oil field, but the good that comes from the health industry by adopting the promise of do no harm before they do good. The oil field came in, they used my people to dredge pipeline canals, and then when the pipeline canals were dug, my people were forgotten. And the jobs dried up because they had what they wanted. By linking oil and gas to wind, you create a distrust in wind, because coastal communities remember how industry stole the land, destroyed it, and the water. Groups have highlighted that Gulf communities cannot continue to be a sacrifice zone with more oil and gas and wind. We just don't need a real transition, we need a just transition.
Hello, friends. I have breaking news to inform you about this evening. Top Republicans and Democrats in Congress are finally ready to take action on the next government funding bill. Major items are expected to be added to this legislation. This could even include cuts to important programs, including Social Security and Medicare. My dear friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video to learn more about this. Also, to say thank you for being part of this community. Every Friday, I will be announcing winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, please click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Now, friends, today, during a press conference, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell did not mince words when discussing the hurdles that Washington faces in preventing a government shutdown next month. Mitch McConnell said this Wednesday afternoon, "It is a pretty big mess. The Speaker and the President reached an agreement, which I supported in connection with raising the debt ceiling to set spending levels for next year. The House then turned around and passed spending levels that were below that level. So lawmakers return to Congress next month after a weeks-long recess, and members in both chambers expect to see floor action on some of the 12 annual appropriations bill, laying out government funding for fiscal 2024. However, there is much uncertainty around whether Washington will see its first shutdown in years next month, as some conservatives are already downplaying the threat of a funding lapse amid internal GOP divisions on spending. At the same time, the gap between funding levels pursued by appropriators in the House of Representatives and Senate has widened in recent months, as bipartisan support has grown in the upper chamber for emergency funding in areas like defense. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has indicated the House will likely need to pass a continuing resolution, which will temporarily freeze spending at current levels in order to prevent a funding lapse. However, McCarthy pushed back against the idea of a continuing resolution that punts the funding deadline too close against the holidays when asked about the stopgap bill to freeze spending through December in a recent interview. He recently stated during an interview, "I want to make sure we're able to set this where it's not by a holiday, that it's just enough time that, if we can do more of our work, that would be in conference with the Senate." However, Mitch McConnell signaled on Wednesday that a continuing resolution into December is still on the table. He said, "I think we will end up with a short-term congressional resolution, probably into December, as we struggle to figure out exactly what the government's spending levels are going to be next year." But Senate Republican Mitt Romney called out his own party ahead of a looming fight with Democrats over government funding. Lawmakers must pass a bill funding the government by September 30th, 2023. But demands for steep spending cuts are ratcheting up fears of another costly government shutdown. Romney argued that Congress should instead rein in spending on entitlement programs. He said they are a major driver of deficits that neither party is eager to tackle. And he predicts a lot of screaming and shouting in Washington that will ultimately result in a government shutdown happening this fall. Recent history has seen an uptick in government shutdowns, which shutter federal services and parks, harm the U.S. economy, and increase unemployment. In 2013, Republicans shut down the government over demands to defund the Affordable Care Act. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on all of this? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. The Republican Study Committee has already released its budget for fiscal year 2024, which is titled Protecting America's Economic Security. It has called for significant cuts to Social Security. Under a plan developed by the Republican Study Committee, which is a group of conservatives in the House, senior citizens would face a 5-year delay to claim Medicare, the government health care program for seniors that currently allows people to access a program when they turn 65. And the retirement age for Social Security would also increase to 70 years old, compared with today's full retirement age of between 66 and 67 years old. According to the Republican view, the best way to improve the program would be to cut spending by reducing the number of years that seniors can claim these programs. They also want to link retirement age to future changes in life expectancy. So if Republicans gain control of Congress, it is very likely that these proposals and others, such as turning Social Security into a discretionary spending program, could move forward. Well, my amazing and most beautiful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My dearest friends, thank you very much for joining me here and for being part of this community. To say thank you and to show my appreciation, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway every Friday. My dear friends, if you would like to enter these weekly giveaways, simply click and like several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, my friends, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed week.